happening, guys? Happy Saturday. Hope you guys are having a great weekend. Mouse, how you doing? Thanks for joining. I'm having a great weekend. Still unemployed, but things are going okay. Hope you guys are doing great. It's been a while since I've done an X-Plane VR stream, but that's what we're doing today. The TorqueSim SR22, probably my favorite X20 or X-Plane 11. I was going to say X25. Wow, that really is dated. You guys know what X25 is. You know what I'm talking about. In any event, yeah, in the SR22, we're going to be taking a trip down to Charlotte from Roanoke. We're going to be flying for the VR Aviation group, and should be a fun trip. You're doing well. You've finally settled your workers' comp case after 7 years. Wow, dude. I hope that worked out well for you. So let's get right to it. What we're gonna do today? We've got show you the flight plan. All right, so we're going basically Roanoke to Charlotte. We've got 2 waypoints here. I want to fly past this lake here. Where the hell's that lake? Right here. I want to see this lake. So I kind of went a little bit to the south, to the southeast, and then we'll fly right here to our approach into Charlotte. 14 miles into Charlotte. Gonna fly at 6,000 feet today, just to be above everything. So we got about 137 miles, called it 140. Probably be about an hour flight, something like that. And out of Roanoke, we've got 3 passengers aboard. That's all we can fit on the SR22. NASCAR Hall of Fame visitor, because we're going to Charlotte. Foo Fighters and a bank executive. One of the Foo Fighters. Maybe it's Dave Grohl. I don't know. Yeah, so that's what we got today. We got 65 gallons on board, which is plenty of fuel in the SR22. And yeah, so that's about it. So we're gonna go cold and dark here today. And I'm going to bring chat into... The nice thing about X-Plane 11 is that when you're in VR, you can bring chat into the cockpit. Your wife loves the Foo Fighters. I love the Foo Fighters. They're awesome. Been a Foo Fighters fan since the first album, when Dave released the first album, which he basically recorded himself. All right, so let's get in this cockpit here. We're going cold and dark. Let me get my chat window in so I could talk to you guys. This way I don't have to keep flipping the headset up and down. All right, so we're gonna go and grab this here. Ooh, here. Ooh, that's not it. Come on. All right, so we're going to grab the live chat. Best quality. Come on, best quality. There it is. It's a little hard to read, but I think that's a Windows mixed reality thing. I think maybe I can make this a little bigger. It's easier, better to read. A little better to read that way. All right, so we'll put that over here. We got to close this door here. Well, let's get the plane started first. Then we can close the door. All right, so we've got. Let's get our battery 2 on. Our battery's on. I'm going to do this from memory. Initializing the system. Alright, get that going. That's good. Okay, that's good. Okay, we'll set our menu, make sure we're path up. We want to get this keep wings level. Okay, good. Alright, let's get alternators on. Avionics are on. We're gonna get we got our fuel pump on. We're gonna go 25%, and hopefully this thing will start up. Let's see. What am I missing? There we go. Just takes a little bit to crank her up. We got her cranked. Okay. Well, that's warming up. We can close our door now. Okay, and we're going to go flight plan. Let's see. Yeah, we'll be good on the fuel once we get. Let's go flight plan. And I've already set up this flight plan, so you can just scroll down here, hit enter, and let's just look at that flight plan. Yep. All right. So now we want to go to menu, and right now it's north up, so we just want to hit enter. Do track up. Hopefully that's track up. Where's my plane? Alright, track up. That's what we want. Alright, menu. Boom. Alright, so, yeah, so we're good to go here. Let's go nav. And we said we're going to fly at 6,000. You know what? Let's just do 7,000. Just to be safe. And we're going to go vertical speed, and we'll climb at 700 feet per minute. You can see here, this nice display tells us the kind of mountains we have to deal with here. So all we need to do is load up the people, and we'll be good to go here, guys. Let's get our nav light on, strobe light on, landing lights on, our pitot heat on. Hunky dory. Love this plane. It's so realistic. I actually, if you check on their website, they had a blog post that said that this plane is now, I believe, you have to read the blog post for the details, but it's now accepted as a for training, FAA training, for I guess first level private pilot's license training, which is kind of cool, man. You think about it, it's pretty cool. All right, so let's see. We want to get our people on board here. So let's go FSEconomy. And we're going to go start flight. Beautiful. We got those people on board. And we got those 3 souls on board. We're ready to go. So let's get in the air. Without further ado. Put that right over there. There you go. All right. Now this plane, I mean, this plane's always going to be a little stuttery for me because of I got a 1080 Ti, but I do have a nicer CPU, and so that makes it a little better. But it's always going to be a little stuttery. All right, let's go. I want to take off to the south, so not the greatest with the steering. Was it differential steering? I can't remember what it's called. Get to set our flaps to takeoff. I mean, this should give me plenty of runway here. Assume we have clearance. And there's 70 knots, and we are up in the air on our way to Charlotte. Flaps up, nose up. Aviation Matters, how you doing? Thanks for joining, appreciate it. Just getting up in the air here, so give me a second there. How are you this morning? Thanks for joining the stream, appreciate that. All right, let's get our yaw damper on and autopilot on. And we should be good to go here. Throttle back a little bit. I'm doing great, thank you. Are you into X-Plane VR? As much as I am? Take a look at where we came from. There's the Roanoke Airport back there. Nice golf course down there. You just realized that I'm playing X-Plane VR. Yep. I'm flying X-Plane 11, the latest release, 11.55 in VR, using the HP Reverb G2, which is an amazing headset. And I'm flying the TorqueSim SR22, which is an amazing plane. It's a study level plane from TorqueSim that's fantastic. If you're into flying Cirrus aircraft, this thing is amazing. No, this is VR, not 2D. I'm flying in VR. You're seeing it in 2D. What you're seeing is what I see in actually one of my eyes, because that's really all that I can show. Next, can you fly the Boeing 747? Well, I'm certainly not going to do that today, unfortunately, and it's not really something that I fly. I mainly fly GA planes. Some of the business jets I fly, like I fly the Aerofly Phenom 300. That's one I really love. An X-Plane 11 in VR. That's an amazing plane in VR. Are you mainly into the larger planes there? All right, we're getting some nice elevation here. Starting to see. I guess these are the Blue Ridge Mountains. Probably. Appalachian, maybe Blue Ridge. Not sure. On our way up to 7,000 feet. Yeah, I'm actually not going to fly any planes after this. I've got stuff I have to do today, so I'm probably going to be streaming here for about an hour, a little bit more than that, complete this flight. But I'll be back next Saturday, and next Saturday I'll probably fly the Phenom, the 300, which is an awesome jet. I also fly the Challenger 300 jet. I like the business jets, you know. All right, coming through 5,000 feet. Just adjusting the mixture a little bit here to get our conserve on fuel a little bit. Let's take a look at the engine parameters. Okay, everything looking green. Thanks for the subscription, guys. Appreciate that. How much the VR X-Plane costed me. So, are you talking about the headset alone? The HP Reverb G2 is about $600. Plus, but you need a gaming PC to run it with a reasonable GPU. I'm using a 1080 Ti. So, you're probably going to spend $2,500 on a PC to run it. So, it's not a cheap hobby, that's for sure. All right, we're coming through 6,000 feet. Nice sunny day today, few clouds. Now, there are other alternatives for VR. You can use, for example, the Oculus Quest 2, which is less expensive. It's relatively less expensive. You're still probably going to pay about $500 or $600, but you don't need a PC. Well, you actually do need a PC for that too. You connect up a cable to that. So I mean, some will say it's a little less expensive. It's really not when you look at it. VR, PC gaming VR is not cheap, and you know, any flight simulator like X-Plane 11 or Microsoft Flight Simulator, you need a PC to fly in VR. But I will tell you that once you fly in VR, there's really no substitute for it. The three-dimensional viewing, especially when you're landing, is amazing. It's amazing. Oh yeah, you'll see. When I land here, you'll see how I butter the landing. Because it's like you have, when you're in 2D, you know how you only have the one screen and you really can't get a sense for where you are as far as elevation. And when you're in 3D in VR, you really feel like you're in the plane. So you have a good sense of where you are relative to the ground. And you're able just to angle the plane perfectly and just come in really, really smooth. You'll see when I land here at Charlotte how smooth it is. And that's the thing when you start flying in VR. That's the thing that really gets you, because once you land the plane in VR, it's like it's very difficult to go back to flying in 2D. Like for example, you know, before Microsoft Flight Simulator came out, and before they had VR, I was flying Microsoft Flight Simulator in 2D a lot for like about, I guess it was 4 or 5 months. And I got used again to landing in 2D, but going back to 3D was such a joy. Can I tell you how to use autopilot? Well, on this plane, it's pretty simple. You make sure you have your GPS set up, your GPS mode set up with your CDI, okay? Let me show you here. Ooh. Oh. Wow, I just crashed X-Plane. Holy crap. That's not good. Okay, that's not good. Wow. All right, I gotta fix this here. Let me fix this here. Hold on. SteamVR crashed. That does happen from time to time. Yeah, it's okay. We'll get it going here again. Just show you so I don't have a black screen going up here. Yeah, I'm not sure what the hell happened. All right, so let me get make sure I'm in SteamVR. Yep. All right, so let me get X-Plane running. It's gonna take a little bit of time here to get this loaded up, but we'll take off. I won't do a full. I'll do a. Maybe I can resume flight. Resume last flight. Oh no, I can't do that. Because I think this flight's still in progress. Let me see if I can pick this up. Who knows? Maybe I can. Happens from time to time. Things crash, you know. Can I tell you how to find the heading direction of a particular airport? Well, yeah, I mean, I could show you that. Let's see here. We go to here, and if we go to here, okay, and use SkyVector, okay, skyvector.com, search up the airport. So let's example, we'll go to, this is Roanoke, okay, and you could pull up the charts for Roanoke by going like here, right, and look at the chart for Roanoke. Okay, and then you can see where that airport is. Now, if you're using GPS, then you just want to make sure that you put this airport in your GPS, and your GPS will take you right to it. All right, hope that answers the question. And I hope we can resume this flight. Yeah, so GPS navigation is what you want to do. There's lots of YouTube videos on that if you want to learn more about that. It's going to depend on which flight simulator do you use, Aviation? My guys, if you're just joining, we're just reloading X-Plane because yeah, we got to do this whole thing again here. All right, let me just cancel this. Cancel flight. Got to do this whole thing again because you know what it was? I hit the wrong button on the controller. And, I thought I hit the right button on the controller, but somehow you have to wake these controllers up after a while because they go to sleep, unfortunately. And once I did that, somehow it crashed the system. Use X-Plane 11 demo, you can't afford to buy it. Okay, so you use the demo version. All right, well, in the demo version, I think if you fly the G1000, I think is available in the demo version. Not sure. The C-172, the Cessna 172 G1000 version, I think is available in the demo. Maybe it's not, but if it is, you can use GPS in that, or even in the standard C-172, you can use the was it the GS530 GPS in that one to fly with GPS. We're just waiting for... Oh, come on, don't do this again to me now. Okay, internet connection. What? Okay, what? Wow, X-Plane is just like really acting up here. It's really acting up. I don't know what the hell. This is a new version. I only flew it one time. There we go. All right, so we're back in here. Let me go to... I know my internet connection is working because I'm streaming. Okay, I'm from America. All right, so let me go to FSEconomy. Okay, log in. Okay, there we go. All right, so we're going to do... let's do start flight. Okay, boom. We got our 3 passengers on board going to Charlotte. We're good to go. All right, let me get inside the plane here. And we're going to have to get all this stuff going again. Let's make sure our flight plan is in. Where's the menu? Flight plan. Okay, that's good. That's all good. And we're going to go 2,000, we said. Well, let's go 6. I think 6,000 is fine. Go 6,000. We're going to go nav on. We're going to go vertical speed of 700 feet per minute. Let's get our flight plan displayed on the PDF, or PFD, so we can see it. We got our fuel. We got our passengers loaded. Put our keys in the ignition there. We're good to go. All right. Let's see. Is there any other option to find heading direction where you can find the heading on the X-Plane 11 itself? I think there are some heads-up displays in X-Plane 11. You can look through the manual. If you go on the X-Plane 11 website, they have a link to the manual. I would check in there. Yeah, so you don't have to ask a question twice. I usually get to it, okay? And I'm able to read stream chat, dude. You got to be a little patient. All right, so let me make sure that I got this going here. Yes, we are in progress, and hopefully this time we won't crash. Well, let me bring chat into. Let's do this. Pop out chat. And I'm gonna go to Move VR. Manage Windows. All right, there we go. All right, let's get the hell out of here. Break off. We don't need de-icing. We don't need de-icing on. And we'll try this again. Hopefully this time we won't crash. Set the flaps to takeoff. Got everything set to go. And we are on the go. $60 knots, 70 knots, rotate. We're in the air, flaps up, just that trim. There's that airfield, clearing that. Let's get our yaw damper on, and we'll get our autopilot on. And we'll let the plane take us up to 6,000 feet. No, I'm not a real pilot. Is it easy to become a pilot? No, it's not easy to become a pilot. You have to do, at least in the United States, you have a lot of training that you have to do, and classroom work that you have to do, and takes a lot of work to become a pilot, because you have to train and make sure that you are sufficiently trained so that if you can operate the plane safely from A to B, and mainly, or maybe more importantly, you're able to react properly in times of emergency. And because anything can happen in a plane, you could lose your engine, you could ice up your wings, you could lose altitude, you could lose some controls. You have to be able to adapt to situations. So the flight training and the FAA flight training to get your pilot's license is pretty rigorous. You're waiting for the butter landing. Well, you're going to have to wait about an hour because it's going to take us about an hour to get to Charlotte. So, but we'll get there. Provided X-Plane 11 doesn't crash again. I usually stream every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern. Sometimes I skip a Saturday here and there because I got personal stuff to do, but I usually stream each Saturday morning. All right, so we are getting up to altitude here nicely. I start to pull back a little bit on the mixture because we can reduce the amount of fuel flowing to the engine because of our altitude. And we can still maintain good speed. All right, coming through 3,200 feet, 3,300 feet, I should say. Now, the one thing you got to remember in the SR22 is that it's not an auto tank. You got two tanks, one in each wing. You get fuel tanks, but it doesn't automatically switch over. So you've got to switch it down here, this red switch that you have to make sure you switch over every 15, 20 minutes or so to make sure that you're keeping the plane balanced. And in this plane, the TorqueSim SR22, it's very, like I said, it's study level, so you want to make sure you follow the procedures properly. All right, coming to 3,800 feet. Let's take a look outside. There's that beautiful plane. I love the shape of this plane. If I was ever able to afford one, this would be the plane that I would love to own. They're pretty expensive, though. Pretty expensive, especially this model. I think it's upwards of like 700,000, something like that. So it's pretty expensive. All right, well, sorry about that, but I appreciate you hanging with me. As the scenery goes by, the X-plane scenery. Now I'm using, what the hell is it? Oh, why can't I remember the name? Ortho 4XP scenery. Jeez, that escaped my mind there for a second. So basically, it's higher res scenery overlaid on top of X-plane 11. That gives it a little bit more texture, more color, more realistic. It's nowhere near as nice as Microsoft Flight Simulator, but it certainly is better when you're using Ortho 4XP, which is free, by the way. It just takes up a lot of disk space, as those who use it know. Taking a look out the left wing there. As we climb through 5,000. And once we get to 6, we'll trim things out and switch over the tanks and get ourselves flying at about 155 knots, somewhere around there. You like all the aviation streams? Yeah, me too. I like, actually I like the real life ones, like Nikos Wings. He's really good. He flies SR22. Aviation 101. He's another great YouTuber that I like to watch, who flies a real Cessna 172, I believe he flies. So those are ones I like to watch. to get a real feel for real piloting. 5,500 feet. You see, we got to watch these tank levels here. So I'm going to go over here. I'm going to switch these tanks to the right tank. So this way we're balanced. And let's see, here we come to 6,000. So I'm going to just start to pull back the mixture here. Let's go to engine. And what we want to do is we want to see this come to the EGT come to about, let's see, so those greens going up there, so that's giving us, that's good. So we're using 17 gallons per hour. That's pretty reasonable. We have plenty of fuel, so that's actually pretty reasonable right there. Flying at 145 knots, gaining a little bit. So we'll probably end up about 150 knots, which is what I wanted, so all is good. No, I can't land now. I'm not in Charlotte yet. I'm flying to Charlotte, and I'm over about 114 miles away, so can't land now. I have to complete my trip. All right, so you have 5 minutes of screen time left. You know, sorry about that, but I can't dictate the stream because you only have 5 minutes of screen time left, dude. Okay. Sorry about that, but what you can do is tomorrow you subscribe to the channel. And tomorrow you can watch a replay, because this is going to be on my YouTube channel, so just look for the replay, and then you can fast forward to where I land, and you'll be able to watch it then. All right? And I promise that I'll butter the landing for you, so you can watch it on the replay. All right? Let's do that. All right. So let's take a look at, we got a little time here now that we're leveled off and flying. I want to take a look at X-Plane 11 .55. Oh, it doesn't have the release notes for .55. I know what I wanted to see. There was if I go to on the YouTube channel, X-Plane's YouTube channel. Stop. X-Plane 11. Yeah, okay, let's watch this. This is what I wanted to see. So this is interesting. Let's cue this up here.
This is the story of the greatest toiletry bag ever made.
I want to watch that. All right, so I'm going to cue this up here so we can check this out. This is their new, their planned lighting system. Yeah, I figured that you were from India, dude. Let me just pull this up here. KROA. All right, so let's check this out. This is their planned lighting system. This is something they've got planned. This is the preview. It's SR22 right there. pretty incredible. They're trying to really improve the lighting, which is great. You can see the reflection and stuff is awesome. So that's the X-Plane 11 flight. Now this is release 55, or I should say 55. Let's see, X-Plane 11, X-Plane 11 dev blog. I think it's under there. Yeah, I think it's under here. So yeah, here we go. So we got this is what I'm running, 1155. Focused on almost all the efforts on future technology. Stateport reported a bug severe enough they wanted to patch. X-Plane 11 would randomly crash from plugins using the new instancing drawing API. Okay, blah blah blah. Vulkan compatibility. So they needed to patch this up because there was a major bug, I guess, that was causing crashes. So took another look at their airports, and they've upgraded some scenery, which is good. And they're getting ready. You can see that they're working on improving X-Plane 11. So I'm anxious to see photometric rendering. It should be really cool, actually. So something to keep your eye on coming from X-Plane 11. So those who think, I've seen some people say, "Oh, X-Plane 11 is stagnant and it's not. It's never going to be anywhere near what." Microsoft Flight Simulator is, blah blah blah, and I'm here to tell you that I know for a fact from correspondence with senior people at Laminar Research that they are working very hard on the next release of X-Plane, whether it's going to be X-Plane 12, X-Plane next, who knows what they're going to call it, but I would suspect that coming down the road, I don't know the time frame. It'd be nice if we knew the time frame, but I would expect that we're going to see some pretty major improvements, considering that you have to take what Asobo has done with Microsoft Flight Simulator as the reference point, right? That's the bar. The bar has been set with that from a scenery perspective. So got to believe that Laminar is, looking at that and thinking about that. Right there, evident in the lighting that we saw in that video. That improvement alone is pretty amazing. So, anyway, yeah, I mean, lots invested in X-Plane 11, so certainly don't want to give up hope on it. And from a flying perspective and a communications perspective, I still think it's got advantages over Microsoft Flight Simulator, that's for sure. So, let's see. X-Plane 11 is expensive. Yeah, I'm sure it is. It's it's $60 here too. So it's pretty much the same around the world. You still prefer Bradford? You still prefer FSX? Really? Okay. Just curious why. I mean, have you flown X-Plane 11 and Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020? Have you flown all those as well, and you still prefer FSX? Just curious why. There's our first waypoint. Now we got 84 miles to Tome. And Charlotte's pretty close to the ground. I think it's like 1,000 feet, so or elevation, I should say. Let's just check that. So we have that in mind, and we know exactly where we want to go to Chrome window here. So let's go to Charlotte. Come on up. For some reason, SkyVector is really slow. It used to be like lightning fast. All right, so we've got elevation at Charlotte is, why can't I read it? 748 right there. 750, call it. All right. So we probably want to be at like 2,000 when we get there. All right, just for a proper landing. Yeah, both. Okay, so you got MFS and X-Plane 11. The high frame rates, yeah. So Bradford, curious, what kind of PC do you have? What kind of GPU and CPU do you have? Because yeah, definitely, like, especially in VR, Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 and X-Plane 11, they really require. X-Plane 11 likes CPU, so like I have an 8-core CPU at i7-10700K, and I went from a 6-core to a 8-core, and it made a huge difference in X-Plane 11, even with sticking with a 1080 Ti. Microsoft Flight Simulator, on the other hand, I think needs more GPU power, obviously because of its graphics engine. So, like when you're in the menu system in Microsoft Flight Simulator, it's running at 100%. Take care, Aviation. Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate it. Even the menu system's running at 100. Your GPU, my GPU, the 1080 Ti, is running at 100%. You got to. Okay. Well, if you got a 3070 and an i9, are you running in VR or 2D? Because if you got, that's a pretty powerful system. And are you using SSDs or hard drives? Because if you're using SSDs, you should be able to tweak both X-Plane 11 and Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 to get amazing frame rates with a 3070. Especially in 2D. Now, if you're flying in VR, yeah, it's going to be a little bit different, but still, you've got a beefier system than I do. Oh, yeah, I mean, you should be able to have absolutely super smooth frame rates on both those. I would recommend going on YouTube and look for like some optimization videos. I really believe that you should, at least in Microsoft Flight Simulator with that configuration, you should be able to at least fly at like high settings in 2D with amazing frame rate. And in X-Plane 11, you should be able to fly at 100% max settings with really good frame rate with that type of PC. So yeah, I would just look for how you can optimize it. Because the thing is, like FSX, listen, I had FSX for years. The other two are so much more advanced from a flight modeling perspective, from a control perspective, updates in airports, etc., etc. I mean, you're missing out on a lot. Just the plane modeling alone in Microsoft Flight Simulator compared to FSX is, it's like a amazing leap. So with your system, an i9 and a 3070, I have a i7-10700K. Okay, I don't know which generation you have, which generation CPU you have. I have a 10th generation. I can get amazing frame rates in 2D in both those with a 1080 Ti. Okay, you have a 3070, which is probably about 35% more powerful than a 1080 Ti. So you should be able to do amazing things with that. Colin, how you doing? Good to see you. You love the aircraft in VR and X-Plane? Absolutely. For some reason, it now has jaggles all around and horizontal surfaces. Which VR headset are you using? The jaggies can be cured usually with anti-aliasing. Jagged edges are usually anti-aliasing. But when you start to raise up your anti-aliasing, you use more GPU. So Rift S, yeah. So I would say it's anti-aliasing, which you want to set in X-Plane 11. And I'm just trying to think. It's been a while. I had a CV1, Oculus CV1. It's been a while since I used the Oculus software, but I think with jagged edges, then you want to look at which GPU are you using, Colin? Yeah, I would definitely do that. You know, Bradford, I don't know if you ever checked out Jay's 2 Cents on YouTube. He's got a video that he did a few months back. It's like a basic level stuff that you can do in like Windows to optimize Microsoft Flight Simulator that he was able, like a lot of people use that and get like, increase their frame rate like 10, 15%. So look at Jay's 2 Cents. It's a while back that he created that video. But check that out. So yeah, so Colin, which 1080 Ti, okay. So, I mean, that should be a really solid system for you, you know? You should be able to adjust. I would say try tweaking anti-aliasing. And I'm not sure, I think you probably want to do that in X-Plane 11 first. But again, it's going to eat up your GPU. Yeah, I mean, there's going to be big differences between Microsoft Flight Simulator and X-Plane 11. It just is, you know. Yeah, no problem. I would try to mess with anti-aliasing. I mean, you could see if you look right there, I got jagged edges. I'm like right in the middle. My anti-aliasing in X-Plane 11 is set like right in the middle. I forget what it is exactly, but it's like this. If I think of the bar, it's like right in the middle, and you can see I've got some jagged edges there, but on the shadows mainly, not on any surfaces, just on shadows, right? Which I really don't care about. You kind of get used to that, you know. All right, let's flip our tank over here. We don't need the boost. All right, so we got 61 miles to our waypoint. See if things are starting to flatten out there. There was actually a lake that I wanted to see, and I forgot to look at it because I was jabbering away. Yeah, that's what this stream is about. You know, talk about VR, flight simulation. A lot of people have some questions. So one thing I should let you know, if you're interested, check out on Facebook. Let me show this to you. If you go on Facebook, give me a second here. Boom. The VR Aviation group. Just type in VR Aviators, and there's a private group that I started with this guy here, Drew, and another guy, Donovan. I think this is Donovan. No, Donovan. Years back, like probably 4 years ago. And it was an idea that came out of when I was doing a stream, and we now have over 3,000 members. And you have questions about VR, this is the VR flight simulation. This is the place to ask. So if you're on Facebook, just do a search on VR Aviators, join the group. Just have to ask a couple of questions and agree to the terms, and then you're in. Post your question, and you'll be amazed at how many great people answer. It's a great community. What I love about it is there's really I can't remember any trolls in there. Now watch, I'm saying that, it's going to start to happen. So it's a really great community of people that are genuinely interested, and we police it pretty well as far as who gets in, and we try to keep it spam. We make sure we keep it spam free and all that. So it's pretty good. It would be fun if aircraft came with a pilot's body that you can inhabit. Oh, I see what you're saying. So like you could see, like when you move so like this would be a hand instead of this controller, right? Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, that would be kind of cool. a lot of programming, so I think they kind of like skipped that, you know. Not sure what river that is. Might be the Shenandoah. And one thing you can always, I don't pay attention too much to frame rate. A lot of people do. I turned off the frame rate indicators long ago, and I really don't pay much attention to that. I look at experience. So when I look out the window and I look at the wing and I'm looking at the ground, if I see the ground moving smoothly with very little, if not any, micro stuttering, which is what I'm seeing now, then I'm having a great experience. That's the way I look at it. I don't think about frame rate. The thing about it is in VR, an X-Plane 11, if you're 30 or above, you're going to be fine. As long as you're maintaining above 30 frames per second, you're going to be fine, because there's software in the headsets to help reproject, and you don't have to, a lot of people are under the assumption, you have to run at 90 frames per second in VR. You don't. 30 frames, I'm probably running about 30 frames per second right now, and you can see how smooth it is. In fact, I could probably tell you. Let me just see if I can pull that up. If I go to plugins, manage. Does this show me? Nope. This doesn't give me frames per second. Oh, I know it does. Avitab. That's right. Avitab does, I think. So let me go to Avitab. Yeah, there we go. So we look at Avitab right there, 25, 26 FPS. I'm looking out the window, smooth as silk. So you don't need 60 frames per second in VR. That's what I'm telling you, right? Put that over there. We don't need that. Turn that off. We don't need the we don't need that. All right. So let me just get this up here. Yeah, so we don't get I don't normally get a lot of people in the stream when we're doing X-Plane 11. Now, what I do also is, probably about once a month, I do group flights in Microsoft Flight Simulator. We pick a really cool area, and we do about 150-mile group flight from one airport to the other. The last time we had like 25 planes, I think, which was pretty cool. And we all fly at like GA speed, about 150 knots. At about 2,000 feet, and we check out the scenery. It's pretty awesome. So do that once a month. But X-Plane 11 don't get as many viewers. Maybe if it's a new plane or something we do, but we don't get as many viewers when we're flying X-Plane 11. I personally still prefer X-Plane 11 in VR. I like certain planes in Microsoft Flight Simulator, but it tends to be a little bit more stuttery, and that's mainly because I'm using a 1080 Ti. If I had a beefier GPU, which, by the way, as you guys probably know, it's almost impossible to get. Like, I want to get a 3080, probably not a 3080 Ti, probably just a 3080, because I'm not sure there's much advantage to the Ti. Well, maybe the VRAM is probably the main advantage. But, well, anyway, it's about $1,000 for a 3080 Ti, if you can get one at retail, which, we all know that problem. But in any event, running a 1080 Ti in Microsoft Flight Simulator, I could really, in VR, I can only get, like, medium-level graphics. I long for the day when I can boost that up to, like, high-level graphics. Probably not ultra in VR with a 1080, with a 3080, but, improving that will probably make the experience better. So from a standpoint of my system, X-Plane 11 is really more of the preference, All right. 42 miles. Everything running smoothly. burning 16 gallons per minute. Let's check out the engine parameters. I don't know what that is there, but everything looks pretty good here. Everything in the green. They really did such a nice job with this plane, TorqueSim. I remember when they were developing it, I think it took them like a year. I mean, I was so excited when I heard they were doing this. It's my favorite GA plane. I used to have the V-Flight Air, which I still do, the SR20, which was a nice plane, but it had its own G1000, which isn't particularly very good. This uses the Laminar Research G1000 modified, which is really, really, really good. And yeah, so I just love this plane. So easy to fly too. Let's check it out. Isn't that beautiful? Man, what I would give to be able to own one of those. Had to get my pilot's license first, but be able to just hop in. You know, my son and I, we went down to our family relatives last weekend to go do some activity with him, and he lives about an hour away, and we live, you know, maybe 10 minutes from a little small airport. And he lives about maybe 10 minutes from a small airport, but there's about an hour of driving between us. And as we're driving down, I said to my son, I said, wouldn't it be great to be able to hop in a plane right now and just fly down to my cousin's house in like 10 minutes or 15 minutes? You know, it would just be so cool to be able to do that. Maybe someday. Maybe someday. Maybe someday. All right, let's see. So we have to come down to about 2,000 feet, 4,000 feet total we have to come down, which is not that much. So when we get to, well, we got a little time. We could stay up here and burn less gas. Sorry, just texting a family member here. I tell you, I definitely have seen an improvement. There was a recent update in Windows Mixed Reality for the HP Reverb G2. I got to see if there's a firmware. I think my firmware is up to date. Uh-oh. Okay, that was just, I think that was a scenery change right there. Hopefully, yes. Sometimes you get that flickering when you're changing scenery in X-Plane 11 because I'm using Ortho 4XP. It's on a hard drive rather than SSD. It's like on a 6 terabyte hard drive, so you get that hard drive read-write, stuttering that you get when you're changing over from one sector to another in scenery. So that's what that probably was. It's much better now since I've got a faster CPU. This is what I like to do. I like to go out here and then zoom in. And you can actually see the PFD and the MFD right in the cockpit, which is really cool, man. Isn't that cool? And actually, look, you can see my my chat. Oh, that's the iPad in there. What a cool looking plane. Yeah, flights move pretty fast in this plane. I mean, you know, an hour you can go 150 miles. Think about that. 150 miles in an hour. That's pretty good, man. 140, let's say. To drive 140 miles, probably take you, what, 2 hours? So it's half the time? Maybe longer than 2 hours. Depending on what type of road you're driving on. Now that might be Lake, I forget what, there's a lake near, north of Charlotte Airport. Lake, can't remember the name of it. We actually were looking at maybe retiring there, to tell you the truth. It's a beautiful, large lake. Agree so much about the work goes into... Yeah. You agree so much that you agree so much work goes into these beautiful plane models, but most of the time you never see them. Yeah, it's true. That's why I like to go outside a little bit and look around and just check them out. Look at, I mean, look how beautiful that is. It's so beautiful. I mean, this is one of the, to me, TorqueSim has developed one of the best X-Plane 11 planes ever created. If you ask me, it really is. I mean, if they're going to give awards, this thing should definitely win an award. It's just, especially in VR, it's amazing. Now it's very high res, so you got to take that into consideration. All right, I'm going to go. We're going to get our altitude down to 2,000 feet. We're going to go vertical speed, and we're going to go down about 600 feet per minute. And we're okay in the gas tanks. We don't need to adjust the mixture just yet, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. Forget the name of this lake. Maybe it'll tell me on the on the map here. Let me look at the map. Lake Norman. Thank you. That's what it is. I just looked on the map here. Lake Norman. I knew it had like a first name. It was after a first name. Lake Norman is awesome. Look at the size of it. And the fishing is supposed to be amazing on Lake Norman. And apparently you can get a reasonable place to live there, so. And it's about 30 miles north of Charlotte. So that's not too bad. But just look at the expanse of water. It's pretty amazing. Sorry, just taking in the sights. So great in VR. You just turn your head and you look out and you can check everything out. Just like you're in a real plane, man. That's what's so great about it. Except when you're in the comfort of your home. And if you crash, you won't die. Although, I gotta be honest with you, I cannot remember the last time I crashed a plane in a simulator. If I did, it was because I wasn't paying attention and I didn't have the altitude set right and I ran into a mountain or something. Like, that's happened to me. But I can't remember the last time. And Lake Norman's got a couple of golf courses, too. At least one right there. It's supposed to be a great place. I think what I would like to do is just vacation there. Go there for like rent a house and go there for a week or something and check it out. The area and stuff, explore. See if it's a place where you'd want to retire, Certainly looks nice. A lot of peninsulas, which means there's a lot of lakefront. And a lot of sheltered lakefront, which is really good. Because you're not getting wake from all the boats out in the middle of the lake. You can, you're back a little bit further, a little bit nicer. You can see right there on the chart, that's all Lake Norman. All right, coming down to 3,600. I mean, I'm sure those lakefront properties are pretty steep, pretty expensive. Another golf course right below us. I mean, you can see even as we're getting closer to the ground, the frame rates and the frame smoothness, frame time. Really, it's frame time that you look for, right? That's the smoothness. Frame time is still excellent. I guess you got a few little islands out there. That's kind of cool. Wonder if it's a flooded reservoir. Not sure. Should look in the history of Lake Norman. All right. When you hear that beep, that means we got 1,000 feet to our targeted altitude. Another golf course over there. Got 168 knots. Moving along at a nice clip. We're going to make our turn here in 2.5 miles into Charlotte. So let's start prepping for our landing. We're going to go mixture full. And we should switch our tank to the other tank, even though we got enough fuel. I'm just going to switch it just in case. There we go. And start to throttle back a little bit here. Starting to push to the engineering limit's 200 knots, so we're well below that, but we don't want to push it too much. We're not in any hurry. All right, so we got 14 miles to Charlotte. Coming down to 2,000 feet. There's Lake Norman right over there, outside the left wing. Boy, it really kind of like it's a water system. That must be a river, I guess, that feeds into it or feeds out of it. Looks like it. All right. 12 miles. Airfield in sight. Runways in sight. 10 miles. Keep her about 120 knots. So Aviation, what was his name? I forget his name. Aviation Matters, I think. I think that was your name. Get ready for the butter landing. Now watch me blow it here. I don't think so. I've landed this plane many times. All right, so we want to set our trim here. So just give it a little. We got 8 miles. We're a little off course here, so we're gonna want to vector to the right a little bit, or to the southwest, I guess. There we go. All right, autopilot is off. We're trimming up here. Now, sometimes I have a little problem with this plane with FSEconomy. When you hit the brake, when you set the brake, the parking brake is supposed to basically end the flight for FSEconomy, and sometimes that doesn't work properly. So I'm not sure what's up with that. But all right, so let's get flaps to first position here. Start to slow that plane down. We're gonna land on the inner runway. There's one over there by the road. We're gonna land on this inner one, so we have a quick taxi in. Just bringing it down nice and slow. We're going to full flaps. I'm going to increase the throttle a little bit. Just keep it around 100 knots. I want to be about 85 knots over the fence. So keep that in mind. You can see the visual there. We're almost right on the right trajectory into the runway. You can see we're going right through those rectangles on the PFD there, the visual display, the synthetic display. As you can see, we're right in the... So in case it was really foggy, we could use that. But we don't need that because it's crystal clear out. But it just helps to know that you're right on the right. You're descending properly into the airfield here, so... Slow up to about 90 knots. 500 feet. Looking good. All systems are go. We are go for landing. About 300 feet right now. 85 knots over the fence, just where we want to be. We'll start to throttle down a little bit, trim up the nose. We're going to want to hit a fan We're going to want to fan those wings up, nose up, fan them out, drop the throttle, come down nice and easy. Here we go, center line, over the threshold. We're going to fan up, drop the throttle, come down nice and easy. Here you go. We don't want to kill the brakes too much, so we'll just let the energy bleed out of the plane. All right, we could take this one right here. And that's what you call buttered landing. Oh, aviation, there you go. You got the landing. That was the buttered landing. Barely felt the bump. We'll taxi over to general aviation. Or maybe we'll just go to, it looks like GA's over there, so. Big airport. I really don't know where the hell I'm going, so I'll just go over to that hangar right there. Let's do that. Because it looks like there's a military jet over there. We could check that out. Certainly got a tour of the entire Charlotte. There's a GA, but we'll go over here. Our little private hangar. Yeah, a fighter jet, looks like. Or maybe a trainer. There we go. All right, set that parking brake. Oh, let me turn this on. Parking brake set. Now let's make sure that Let's see. Go to FSEconomy. See, it doesn't finish the flight for you. You have to, like, I don't know why it doesn't do that. You gotta, like, sucks. Maybe that'll do it. Let's see. Hopefully that does it. Sometimes you gotta jimmy it or something. It doesn't. There we go. Finished flight. Boom. Beautiful. So what I have to do is you gotta hold the brake pedals down, and then you hold the brake pedals down, and then you set the brake. Then it clears FSEconomy. So let's take a look at. Let me go to this window here. Because I want to give you guys who are members of the VR Aviation group, I want to give you guys an overview of where we are. So this flight's finished there. So if we go to log, VR Aviation, here's our flight. Take a look at that. So we earned $794 for the group, $1590 for ourselves. Okay, that's pretty good. So let's check out banking to give you guys an idea where we are with the group. So we've got 3.8 million in FSE dollars for the VR Aviation group. Actually 3.9 million. So that's pretty good. We're on our way to saving enough money to buy another 3-lot airport in the northeast area, or the area that we are between Cape May and Roanoke, if we can find one. We'll see. Yeah, so, and as far as aircraft goes, we still have the same aircraft here. We got the 2 Barons, 2 Skyhawks. We got a Citation that I've leased to the group, Longitude, which is Microsoft Flight Simulator. We've got 2 SR22s, one in Wildwood and one headquartered in Roanoke. I'll fly this one back probably later tomorrow. 2 Diamond DH-62s. Pilatus PC-12, which is a really cool plane to fly in X-Plane 11, and then 2 TBM 930s. These are Microsoft Flight Simulators. So that's our hangar, if you will, of planes. So, but yeah, so that's basically how things are going with FSEconomy group. And if you want to join, just search VR Aviation in the go to all groups and search VR Aviation. Hit the join group, and we'll get you on board. All right. Let's see any questions. Hey, I'm back. Okay, how you doing? So you saw the landing, hopefully. No, I can't. I really don't have time to do a replay. So what you can do is when I end the stream, okay, just stay on the channel and you can look and watch. You can watch the video again to see the landing. All right. Because this is going to be it for me today. Okay. Yeah, I'm still in X-Plane 11. That's for sure. All right, let's go here. So, guys, listen, I appreciate. Well, actually, let me just turn this plane off here. Right, we're gonna shut everything down. So, heat off, landing lights off, strobes off. We're gonna bring the mixture back and throttle back. And set this to off. Okay, well, I should have done that first probably. Turn off all our switches and the batteries and everything, and make sure the plane is off. Get rid of this. All right, go outside here and check it out. Well, we didn't really quite land it properly. We can go check out this jet if you want. Pretty cool. Terrible graphics, but pretty cool jet. And we got an Army plane over here. Okay. That's pretty cool. Actually, we could check out Charlotte Airport a little bit if you want. Here's the terminal. Looks like this guy's backing up here. Watching the airport vehicles run by. Pretty cool. All right, back in the cockpit. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me today. I appreciate you joining. If you haven't hit subscribe, please do. And I will most likely be back next weekend with a stream. Probably do a Microsoft Flight Simulator group flight. Have to think about that. But if we're going to do that, I'll post that up in the VR Aviators group so that you guys have indication as to when that's going to happen. All right. Again, I really appreciate you joining me today, and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Take care, guys.